the minute you put these people in power and then
They're done.
you realize that they're really not the people in power. You know,
Yeah.
they are also just as much a puppet as
Yeah, yeah.
anyone else. There's someone higher that's
Than
pulling
them,
strings.
yes, behind.
You know, there's people that are running these campaigns who are funding these campaigns.
Yeah.
That money doesn't come from the actual party.
You can just search on YouTube why Socrates hated democracy, and it was for the same reason that you put power of the entire country to people who don't even understand politics. There should be some studies that are compulsory for everyone about understanding politics, and voting should be actually treated like a skill.
Distraction is too much, and distraction we bona ukuthi sihlezi siyikrave. And now there's no time ukuthi khona mawuqala ngathi ya shift uzangapha then vela something new oyibona ukuthi manje thatha attention now.
Send the score mode. Ngiyadlala.
You've just stepped into An Empty Street, a podcast where we casually engage in difficult conversations about relationships, wealth, and health. We are just three curious gentlemen who ask questions almost about everything, and our aim is to find answers from others and within ourselves. We sit down every other week to explore unaltered conversations. So let's walk the talk together, and welcome to the Empty Street podcast.
Did you vote? You didn't vote. We're not done.
Yeah, I did.
It's not make sure.
Yeah, I did.
Nah, I don't
Why
know.
you vote that?
I did for change. And they say you vote for change.
Yeah.
But it's been a while I vote, so
I'll go have water before.
yeah, I didn't vote before. Just that this year I just decided to maybe because that time I think first time I vote I not vote not because of the party being understand or being asked good I ufuna le party lo.
Yeah.
It's just
You're
going
conforming.
with what the family was saying.
Going with it.
Yeah. Na iphathi kumele sivu iphathi esikhule vele siyazi lamanye ke maveza ndlebe nje atumuka khona la.
Yeah.
But this is the main part. Yeah,
That's how I voted the first time also. It wasn't really based on my own choices, but it's like, nah, let's go vote.
Mind you, why you vote at this time?
This time, if I had to look at just how the political landscape is, dude, you can convince you. I also need to get convinced. You know? As much as people, and obviously, whoever feels like it will come for me for not voting, right? Because now I have to reserve my comments on this, that, and the third, right? I didn't place my vote. But I need to be sold on the idea.
But
on
before,
why I'm voting for it.
Before voting, maybe you need to be sold. I think now will come to a point where do you understand that we have to vote?
I understand that, but you can't just vote for the mere sake of voting. That's why
you understand
right.
you not voting still gives
it
power
impacts to someone else. Yeah, I get that.
To this ruling party.
I understand that.
So basically, you
perfectly.
voted for the ruling party.
I guess. So, but
you defaulted to it.
Yeah, I defaulted to it, I guess. But I'd rather not vote because I'm being swayed by someone else, unless it's something I want to actually vote for. And at the moment, I feel like there's no party that has convinced me enough voting about vote.
Yeah.
No matter how many promises they've made or whatever, you know. And at the core, every political party is essentially the same. You know, they obviously have to sell you on promises, empty or not.
Magoka zanga bene problem to votanga.
No, it's my choice. I'm asked though.
So tell me, you guys mentioned the first time when you vote, it was not your choice. Like it was like let's go on. And you're what age? What's the legal 18, age of voting? 18.
Yeah.
That's when you have your ID. So tell
19,
me, is an 18-year-old in the right mind to make
vote.
that most important decisions for the country to say, yo, I'm part of the people who are saying that this should be the direction we are taking, or it's just a strategy. So if not, then maybe it is just a strategy. So okay, it's more numbers for us just because you are
Replace that
18
vote.
and the rest of your family is following this party.
Yeah.
We'll make more numbers because we have someone else who's gonna their decision is gonna be made for.
I think into eyenzakalayo khumbula ngaleso sikhathi than manje, then still the same. I'm not paying too much attention to politics, but somehow I do understand better than before. Because before I didn't care about politics. The only thing bengiyazi nje kune party which is the ruling party which is ANC. And the ending was with ANC. But that one back then strategy bebasebenzisa because they knew ukuthi asazi much better about politics. What they would do ukuthi benze sure impressa the parents.
Emotional manipulation.
Yes, they will impress the parents. That's when babazovela my community benze whatever marala bawenzayo, then babuye ba offer maybe they say amabhasi for free banithathe banuse kuphi nobona ama artist, and ukhumbula ngaleso sikhathi bekurare ukuthi ungabona ama artist, and for us we impressed with khona ukubona ama artist. I remember going to the first one engaya kuyo which besembombela ngiya da bagama t-shirt ANC, which was the first time going to t-shirt ANC, right? Then mangiya da was more about to take a full board go enzakalanda mafika la yathola kupacked ugcwele very youth to be because beya da ufuna ukubona ama artists mafika la which is the first time khona ukubona which bengifuna ukubona umuntu beyakhona da ngasikhathi leso bekadume kakhulu Solomon. So ngifuna ukubona Solomon ngaye into kanje ngagqoka iskipa then ngakhona ukuthi umbona perform live ngithola into ezikanjani, so immediately mase ngivaya your vote. By default, I'm going to
ANC,
yeah, it's like he associates another thing. ANC. So that's why even Namanje, they're still using the same strategy. You would see Babe, this affiliation in an artist. You know, if they bring this artist, it's easy for youth. I think that still this strategy even less than 7 years before. Because manje says easy good mind seba khona ukuposta ku social media khona ukuthi usipole because last time besikhona ukusibona ngama post baba so bawa apply la indlela ezikhona ubona ukuthi ngilanga kanje kunamabhasi asuka la ayakuphi, then uthole even youth because I remember I had a friend back then umama ke beka very politician straight, so naye lo mjida wagcina vela involved ku politics, so bukulezi vele wazi ukuthi ange-ANC vele uzumthini bazivela izinto ezibhayo, so wekizi ukuthi vele ngasho ukuthi most of the people bengiphila kubo ngaleso sikhathi le bekuma ANC members even from endlini abantu engibaziyo kasi, so it was easy back then ukuthi ngikhona ukuthi anyazi ukuthi this is the party.
I think it's all part of the strategy, you know, like using celebrities as like affiliations, because if my favorite artist is like affiliated with you, I'm like, oh, artist see if I know like I'm also gonna go where my the favorite musician or artist or whatever goes with, you know, because you actually kind of put them on a pedestal
too much
because they're celebrities. So I think that's just one of the strategies, you know, and it even spans like across other ones, like when we mobilize by like from community to community,
house to house.
When they do that. Even not even the house to house, but just community to community. You know, and then these small events that they have, giveaways, these food parcels and everything. I feel like
fix a few potholes.
Sort of like service delivery. It's not even. It's just in the eyes of people. You know, just get the eyes of many.
Make load shedding disappear for a few months.
Malanganyana 2-3 before elections. So you convinced that no, this government is actually doing things right. You know, so the whole food parcels things, I feel like it plays to people's emotions.
And
you know, because obviously, you know, people are going through a lot. They're starving or whatever. They
need to touch
unemployment and all of that. So if you kind of go to that, like, oh, nah, if I vote for this government, then they definitely want to look after me. You know,
they're going to come with more,
they're giving me an RDB house. They want to take care of me forever. You know, but the minute you put these people in power and then you realize that they're really not the people in power, you know, they are also just as much a puppet as anyone else. There's someone higher that's pulling
them,
strings.
yes, behind.
You know, there's people that are running these campaigns who are funding these campaigns. That money doesn't come from the actual party.
So that's why now the question is always, if there's a new party, who's funding that new party? Who's funding the EFF? Who's funding, okay, we already know the ANC. Who's funding Mkhonto Wesizwe? Now, Mkhonto Wesizwe, Bebampusha as in, it's funded by the community. They were doing a fundraising when it was starting out so that individuals who are in support of Umsholozi
put money in
and his manifesto put money in. So it's always been about, there's the puppet and the puppet master. And the puppet master is the one in control of the entire landscape. Not any party can come through. The puppet masters will always be the masters. So voting for these parties for me is like, it's just giving us an illusion that we have choice, but actually we don't have choice, because the people at the top who are making the big decisions, the people who are involved in the production of tobacco, of smartphones,
breweries,
of
petroleum,
imports and exports, mining, it's still the same people no matter the party. So
those are the
who are in control of the media, it's still the same people no matter the political party. So it's just to give us an illusion that we have
some kind
change.
of power.
They say you vote for change.
Yeah, but I think it's very important for people to be educated on
political
how
matters.
Politics. I think it should be part of a subject in school so that we do understand from a very young age the knowledge that we have right now, which is surface level because we're not even into politics, Tina. But I think it's surface knowledge that you should have when you are 15, 16, 17 years ago to understand ukuthi izinto zisebenza kanjani.
I remember ngumjita beyakhuluma ngayo. I don't know this. I think bengunawe beyakhuluma ngebusiness. Beyakhuluma ngebusiness. No, I'm not sure ukuthi, but I think bengida. Because beyakhuluma ngendaba yokuthi if you are checker nowadays, most of the youth, they want to start their own business. But at the same time, while they're focusing on education, then on their business. But one thing which they ignore is politics. Which politics you don't have to dwell. Just you need to understand how it works. Because one thing, if then you want to be in business, you need to be involved in politics. Because once you involve in politics, you get to influence the politics. Because principles or whatever rules that we have to follow, they are coming from the politicians. So once now you are involved in that, it's easy for you now to so that you be involved in those decisions once they are made. Because once we ignore a law, then those guys will make rules for you. Then would your business survive in those rules? Sometimes it won't. So it's easy for if now you get involved in politics, then you be a voice now.
Politics is one thing you can hate and still understand and still want to make it work according to your favor. So no matter how much you hate it or you disagree with how they do things, but I think it's important to understand how it can benefit you and stuff. And you see with people who've been following these parties, most especially the ruling party for 30 years, which has done, there's a video I came across on TikTok, it's sort of like a campus interview from vets. They were asking this kid about what they've gained from the ANC, and he was like, the ANC has showed us very well, they have demonstrated that they can rule for 30 years and do nothing. They've showed us that they can do nothing. That's the only thing they've proven to South Africa, that they can do nothing. Yeah, of course, there's a lot of things that people can argue and say, ANC did this and that and that and that and that. Sure, but how many people have benefited from that? The people who are still gonna kill you if you say anything about ANC, or if I'm saying these things about ANC, same people who are going to kill me are the same people who are benefiting from ANC.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone who doesn't benefit.
It's the people
or
who have a
thinks
lot to
that-
lose.
Yeah.
People who have a lot to lose.
Yeah, and I don't know who said this, one of these politicians, but they were selling their own party as well. I can't remember who, but they were saying, Wuti, you should be a politician in the ground. You should understand how people suffer. You should live with those people and understand. Who was it?
Malim.
It was Malim.
Yeah, because at that time as I've been rally yakhe la ePretoria,
Yeah.
which beka walk nabantu bakhe.
Ah, those type of things, Wuti, you're working and understand Wuti struggles abantu
Yeah.
so that you can. The following day you hop into your car, they drive for you, and in your house. What point does it serve actually? So that's why I think it's important for youth to we understand that from a very young age I'm a politics and actually when you're making your vote, you are making it from an informed background, informed standpoint, and so that to understand. And there's a video I like recommending to people. You can just search on YouTube. Why Socrates hated democracy, and it was for the same reason that you put power of the entire country to people who don't even understand politics. He outlines that there should be some studies that are compulsory for everyone about understanding politics, and voting should be actually treated like a skill because it involves the economy, it involves the well-being of the individuals of the society, and it involves the future of the country and how the country is perceived by other countries.
Even how we select the president as well.
Yeah, of course.
Even how we select the president. Because I remember the president using ways like, if you vote for other party, the NSFAS will go away.
Yeah, the grants will go away.
You
Now
understand?
that's like giving people an ultimatum.
Yes.
Or threatening them.
Yeah. So my question with that was, who's actually giving these people this
That's
money?
tax
Where's this
money.
money coming from?
That's
It's
taxpayers'
coming
money.
from us. So what do you mean by that? It's like it's coming from your own
Yes,
pocket.
now-
Is the ANC funding these grants? Is the ANC funding NSFAS?
Oh, they are not.
It's coming from the taxpayers'
Taxpayers'
salaries.
money, bro.
Yeah.
And remember, this is what it does. Good mindset, your muntu ongayi understand the politics. They win those people over.
Fear.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
you
of
still
that fear. And the same thing futhi mawithatha uyise emakhaya bazala babukele TV and lo muntu lasho kanjalo. Ukhumbule ukuthi the only thing bona bayifuna ukuthi abantu abayofunda and bafunde for free, which NSFAS is behind that free. That free education.
Yeah.
Then immediately if that lo muntu lo avela sekathi umntana wakho mebuwazi ukuthi ufundiswe NSFAS, then you still have other kids abafana bayevasithi and you know nabo ufundiswa NSFAS. Then if then now the president, not someone else, but the president says that obvious.
Yeah, I think what Robert Greene says with his book 48 Laws of Power, he's like, when his book was banned in some countries, it was banned in prisons because they thought that he's teaching people how to manipulate other people with his book. And actually he corrected it, that I'm not teaching people how to manipulate other people, I'm teaching people how to understand power, how to understand the laws of power and be able to defend themselves from that, to just quickly see them. And these games, you see them happening, like Lendo Show. All these laziness come down, they are using fear, they are using emotional manipulation, they are using all these tactics to win votes or to get numbers. We should understand these things as people.
I think one thing that kind of like I have a problem with is, and I get the fact that we live in a democratic country and anyone has the right to come up with their own party and whatever, no? But I feel like it also kind of causes the whole thing of votes getting wasted, you know? If I have a sense of belief with, you know what, I want I want water that is red. Now I come up with a party that like instills or enforces the rights to have red water. You know, now I come with the party, I register it, Votelani party if you want red water. You know, Ksasa Ali comes through like he wants green water. He's gonna come with the party that wants green water.
Yeah.
Registers
And I
it.
just define the what.
and so on and so forth, to a point where you open a ballot paper, it's like 15 different parties on there. Dog. You don't need 15 parties rallying to actually run for whatever it is, presidency or whatever. You know, you look at a country like the US, where there's just two actual. There's probably other parties, but the main two parties that run for presidency, it's always like Democrats or Republicans. You know, so the votes don't really get lost in.
It's either this or that. That's it.
You know, that's all I'm saying. And maybe it's restrictive, but I feel like it is a way of kind of managing the votes also. Because what's the point of us having to vote for all these parties only for you to actually form coalitions? You know what I mean? Send for my
coalitions.
And then taking all of those votes. Then what was the point? What was the point really? So then it makes me believe that means all of these parties
work together.
Are part of that party. That there's agendas behind those things.
Well, it's all about giving the illusion of choice.
Yeah, so
which is a waste.
Doesn't make sense to me.
If maybe the way business no going against the they say maybe was in a form of maybe group stages. Maybe one go kala yangena wonke. Then maybe certain people may have voted or maybe have voted are be eliminated. Until we left with two. Then that's when we know Guti as the whole country only voting for these two. It's either this or that.
Left or right?
Yes. Simple. Because yazo dababanya baseko involved. Those ones they are out. Manje already as Nceba should bonke labantu labakhona. That's why we told Guti maybe kuzomunya tholi city they party they thengisele bani amavote bayinikeza lapha. Laba kuze bakhona overpower labo. Laba bayithi bahlanganile ukuthi bakhona babe more votes over those ones.
And that's a favor owed. The minute wena ungithengisele iseat lakho sengiyakolota. You know? And then when you call your favor, I must respond. So if you saying funi tender kanje, you can't go lay in and I gave you a seat. And so I know I only had one vote, but that one vote gave you a majority in votes. So now you start having stuff like that. And the minute you have, politics is a game of favors, really. You know, because sometimes that is their currency. So all of those people owe me. And if I have so many people owing me, that means I get to actually pull a lot of strings. You know, decisions can be swayed in my favor. Basically, if we're sitting in a boardroom or whatever and you owe me a favor, I can easily say, nah, I'd kind of like you to side with me in this decision or whatever. SK, I'd like you to do this and this on my behalf because you owe me a favor, you know. And that is kind of the basis of also how politics is. You know, if I have a favor or if you owe me a favor, then I have something over you. It's like leverage, basically. That's what I mean. Like leverage is the game of it. You know, if I have leverage over you or in that was a blackmailer or whatever, I have something on you. Then I know what you are. You want to feed off of my hand. You know?
But they just need to come back, these people, to be human beings. At the end of the day, have the heart of politician, but at the same time have a heart of human being. If maybe sometimes if bafuna shy, better shy if maybe they saying it bayabona bakhona visit ama community, even ama houses or to visit ugogo ndoda umbona ukuthi bekahlala kwelinye itshontsomba nje. Mara nazo sikhalezi now they get a chance bam visit bamakhela indlu. They know they will do maybe 5 houses. Then abazowazi there's one they be on camera.
That's PR.
They are bashaya lento le then bayazi from there baqedile ngalawo. So then after saqeda kuvote then abasabonakala ngoba. But then we have one good at the end of the day if then they can bring back that heart of a human being which as much as it's cedile. I'll teach us good this corn would must shy. But shy during that course of before still vote. Just visit again. Still that is publicity. At least even a hope you would. No, these people at least are doing something, even if now they're not canvassing for my vote. But mine is like by ends good to call I see him is serious. Even then when he has a chance with Laban throughout the years are based. Then when now say fear that year, so good now voted, then that's when now even nana bophila nabo laba bama-politician bokungabazi nokubazi ukuthi ama-politician then neday sekunonyaka lo vote umuntu
Babela
neskipha
bona.
seyinsikithi hey kanti wena ungumaphi
Yeah, hey.
zombona khona lapho then nabo seyakutshela ukuthi endoda ngena ngapho ngaleso sikhathi lezo kuthiwa ukuthi bengakutsheli next ngepolitiki.
There's this other series called House of Cards. I don't know if Nceba.
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, perfect way to kind of see how that game is played.
Yeah.
Politics, it's a dirty game, but
Definitely.
dirty game. And we see it even here locally. You
No,
know, people get killed.
it's
over-
evident. I think everyone knows. We just choose to be oblivious.
People get killed over that shit, though. There's a lot of propaganda. Media gets driven to your own intentions, I'd say. You know, so the media that you kind of, there's people standing at those gates filtering things that gets publicized, things that
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
covered,
Yeah.
all of that, you
Yeah.
know. So I don't know if there's actual independent news anymore.
Nah. Your independent news is this podcast, but you can't fully trust them as well. It's just the individual people who are doing their own thing in the social media platforms, but mainstream media, no. And you know, gents, another thing I'm very interested in that hurts me is looking at our youth right now. And when you look at youth, I mean, we are at the end of the youth month. We're approaching the end of the youth month. And the only thing you see our youth celebrating is
June 16th.
June 16, but the entire youth month now has become an entertainment industry where celebrating youth is all about
Going out,
events. That's where I'm going, like hosting these events in the name of we are celebrating youth month. And when you look at youth, the individuals of youth in our generation, it's youth that is like relaxed. It's like, okay, we've fought for everything that we needed to fight for, or whoever came before us fought for everything that was needed to fight for, and now we good. Let's just chill and attend these events. Like there's nothing have fun. There's nothing our youth is fighting for. Almost all youth that came before us had a liberation struggle that they had to fight for, that they had to embark on a serious fight for. Blood was shed. Voices were louder than they should have been, or louder than they were. And there was a cause that made youth unite to fight this one thing. And we last saw that with Fees Must Forward. And after that, there's nothing that I can see. I don't know how about you guys, if you can see anything that our youth is fighting for. We are not even interested in politics. We're not even interested in understanding politics. But what we do each and every single day as youth is go out. Those are the things we're prioritizing. Going out, drinking, mjolo, who's driving a better car, who has the most materialistic things, who can feed their ego more than the other, and celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
So it hurts me that the landscape is like that. Maybe there's nothing to fight for. That's why we are like this. There's a saying that says, hard times create hard times. It's basically a cycle. Hard times create. Can you please? Are you connected? Hard times create.
Is it like
strong man?
pressure?
Yeah.
Is it like precious?
Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. And then it's a cycle going back to hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men. I'm not sure if I'm butchering it, but it's
think
basically
I
a cycle of
reference
that.
like that, though.
Yeah, it's basically a cycle of that. I don't know if we're in the era of being a weak society right now, so that we can face these hard times that will strengthen us and make us strong as a society.
I think it was even these people who are on top, they've understood Duguti. They have understood Duguti. We are a society abangakhona ukuthi bangayibeka la which already lakile. So indlela ukuthi bakhona ukuthi bayiwine ukuthi baba focuses on something while they don't pay attention to important things. Then that's why ba focus youth. But youth is very powerful. If youth think akhona ukuthi like he shift whatever, he focus away da by let decide. I'm telling you a lot of things babona ukuthi kuzoba nempe pie. Then ngabuyela lapho nempe ezipie kube nama striker pie. Then mabayazi ukuthi if they shift basesebancane, we shift their focus uba ibe la. Then now we remain in this side. Then we're in control.
So what you're saying is there's still a lot to fight for as youth, but we can't do that because our attention has been shifted.
Yes.
We've been distracted.
Yes.
And all these things are just counted.
Yes.
Ah,
the distraction is too much, and the distraction we wanna go to see crave. And now there's no time to come out to your shift to zang up. Then if something new, we wanna good man take attention now.
Tend to score more.
Then gone. So we're healing up. So whether we keep on ignoring this side, then that's why now we're at this point. And youth is not fighting for anything. Instead, it's a dance.
We're fighting with alcohol. Yeah. Any last words?
Nah. I hope you made your vote count, eh? I hope you made that vote count. Yeah, don't be like me. Those are my last words, dude. But in essence, I think, just learning about the political landscape, just understanding politics and how it gets used against you or for you.
Yeah.
Not all politics is bad, but for the most part, it's not what it seems. There's more than what meets the eye, basically. So just try and look at it like through a microscopic lens, and not just at face value. Those are my parting words.
I would also add on that, let's just give it a chance. Even if a handy is not your thing, but when you get a chance, just try to understand, so that at least you're safe. So whatever they present to you, you can warn with it. Skip on. Then I will be easy with manipulate, because nowadays manipulation is all in our face. And those people, they are winning. So at least is has a hard time with Bakon win. At least umuntu fana nokuthi mabayenza bona lebo khuluma yase America ukuthi it's one against. So ukuthi ekugcineni fanele voting lo khonile ukuconvince or khonile ukunika a concrete information lo idingayo or concrete proof ukuthi bazokhona ukuthi banakekele your country. Unless then until we have that, you still have the right to say no, this is not the party I would like to vote for, right? So I think if then we give it a chance, with this we say understand more, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
More especially nowadays, because you see, our parents, they don't give it a chance by understand. They're still moving with the experience. This is the part is capable of apartheid. So Tina's a chance to understand and make it a chance of abantu bethu mabafika nabo baba ne chance ukuthi understand. Then throughout as CC generation will come with less generation, they will understand politics. No matter what, pay attention to it, but they will understand. Once they have understanding, then it makes things easier. Then it's okon with this konboni society, it's bonboni community as a country going somewhere, because we'll have a better voice and also be able to say we want our politician in the next coming years to have this experience or to have these characters or these skills, as you mentioned, skills. Sometimes must choose, and let's not just choose because uba no kuluma too much, but what do they have?
Yeah. So we as a youth, we can understand we ring on social media. South Africa is the best country. I'm never leaving this country. It's no comment whenever we see something that's hilarious. And I think that it shouldn't only end with things that are jokes to say with yo kumnandi South Africa, I'm never leaving this country. Masibona mamumishi kuphela. Or masibona ukuthi we've turned a very bitter situation into a joke in South Africa. We shouldn't only apply it to that. It should show what we are proud members of South Africa. We are proud citizens of South Africa. It should show ngendlela silwela izinto esizifunayo as a country. And sihlala sikhuluma about ama-generational curses. Ama-generational curses esithi siyawabreaka not only end kuma-family wethu, not only end with parents, with extended family members. They also extend to the communities we have as a country. They also extend to changing the political landscape of our country as a whole. So I think that's what we should be more active on as citizens and youth of South Africa. See, and so understand our politics and equip ourselves with skills that are going to be necessary for leadership as a country based on the problems that we've been facing for all these times. 2028 is coming again to change a political party. I think we can use these 4 years to be more active and to be more engaged and to be more curious about how politics works, how power works, so that we are more informed of the decisions we make in choosing which party should be ruling us and holding our government accountable. Because I think one thing I once mentioned, the way as the episode we had about turning jokes into turning serious situations into jokes, it's not. Our politicians will never take us serious as a country if we are always making everything a joke. They don't know how serious serious of a matter is. But now what they do is they just take everything, feed their stomachs, while they leave us stranded and not helping out our community. So if ever we can be active citizens of the country, and then maybe our voices could be heard. But as we always say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take care of your pockets. This is the Empty Street Podcast, and we're signing out.
Take care of the community.